Good morning. Let's tell the truth about something most men won't say out loud. We don't quit because we're incapable. We quit because we're uncomfortable. And somewhere along the way, we started believing discomfort meant we weren't built for it. So stop. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. We say we'll start next week. I'm not ready yet. Now's not the time. And every time you say that, you think you're protecting yourself. But you're not. You're protecting your ego. Because as long as you don't fully try, you never have to fully fail. And that feels safe. Some of you in the room have something you've been sitting on for years. A business idea, a physical goal, a conversation, a conversation you need to have, a version of yourself you know you could become. And you haven't moved. Not because you can't, because you're afraid of what happens if you try and it doesn't work. Let me give you something to think about. You're already living the result of not trying, and it's not peace. It's frustration. It's the quiet voice at night that says, you know you're capable of more. And then there's the other kind of quitting, the halfway quitter. The man who starts strong, motivated, focused, all in for 2 weeks. Then the excitement fades, the progress slows down, and then the grind sets in. And he suddenly feels reasonable. You tell yourself you'll come back to it, but you don't. I honestly I'm one of those kind of guys, and I had to work on it a lot. Because you tell yourself you'll restart Monday. Monday never comes. Because starting, it's emotional. And finishing is discipline. Starting feels powerful. Finishing feels boring. And unseen. And uncelebrated. And that's where most men disappear. Not because the lack of ability, because the lack of endurance. Endurance for the middle, the messy middle, the slow middle, the part where nobody claps and nobody feels special. At that time, you quit in the middle. You teach yourself something very dangerous, my friends. I don't finish. You don't say out loud, but your brain definitely remembers it. And eventually that becomes who you think you are. The guy who almost did it, almost changed, almost built it, almost committed. Almost is a very heavy word. Almost follows you, almost sits with you at night, almost whispers when you see someone else succeed. You need a new standard. A standard that says, if I start this, I'll finish. Not perfectly, but fully. You want confidence. Find something hard. You want self-respect. Become the man who doesn't stop when it gets uncomfortable. Because fear doesn't disappear before action. It disappears after action. The men you admire weren't fearless. They were stubborn. They kept going when quitting made more sense. So here's the truth, my friends. You're not behind. You're not incapable. You're just addicted to comfort. You keep going down that rabbit hole. And at the end of the road, there's nothing there. No growth, no pride, no legacy. Just excuses. So here's your chance. Protect your ego or build your life. You don't get both. You don't need another Monday. You don't need another plan. You don't need another perfect conditions. You need to stop quitting on yourself. Because every time you walk away from something hard, you reinforce weakness. And weakness compounds, just like discipline does. You won't change, finish. You want respect, finish. You want to look in the mirror and know you're becoming the man that you talk about, finish. Or just accept. Quitting is your identity. This is the lone wolf. Decide which road you're on and keep taking it. Stay strong, my friends, and be kind to one another.